lesson 19 is on nickels and dimes and quarters, but now you're having not the equations given to you. You are given word problems where you have to come up with the equations. So if it tells you, like in example 19.1, Karamagu had 50 nickels and dimes. That's as though she laid them out and counted them. So the number of nickels plus the number of dimes was a total of 50. And next it tells us that the value was $4. So our value, the total, if she then counted the value of them, was $4. So a nickel is worth 5 cents. So it would be 5 cents times the number of nickels plus 10 cents times the number of dimes is $4. Now I can eliminate my decimal in this equation by multiplying every term by 100. And I'm left with 5n plus 10d equals 400. Now I need to use substitution. I can solve for n in this equation by subtracting d on both sides. And my new equation is n equals 50 minus d. I can then substitute where n is in this equation. I can substitute 50 minus d. And I'm left with 5, and substituting in 50 minus d plus 10d equals 400. I distribute my 5. 5 times 50 is 250 minus 5d plus 10d equals 400. I want to solve for d, so I will move my 250 to the other side by subtracting. I can also combine my negative 5d and my positive 10d, which gives me 5d equals, and 400 minus 250 is 150. Now I can divide by 5, and d equals 30. So the number of dimes that I have is 30. I would then put my number of dimes in this equation. My nickels equals 50 minus 30. My nickels I have are 20. Now I can easily check my equation by asking myself, how much is 20 dimes worth? And 20 dimes times 0.05 gives me $1. So 20 dimes is worth, 20 nickels rather, is worth $1. Now I look at my 30 dimes. 30 dimes times 10 cents is $3. And in fact, my numbers are correct because the sum of that is $4. Now let's work another one with bills, with dollar bills. Because we can do the same thing with dollar bills. If I had a problem that said a bag contained used $5 bills and $10 bills, and that there were a total of 1,200 bills. So I could say, I could use F for 5s plus T for 10s is 1,200. That's simply by adding the number of bills. And their total value was $7,000. How many of each bill did I have? Well, $5 times the number of 5s plus $10 times the number of 10s would equal $7,000. Again, I could solve for my number of 5s by subtracting my 10s on both sides, and 5s would equal 1,200 bills minus the number of 10s that I have. I could substitute this in for my f and solve for t. It would be 5 times 1,200 minus the number of 10s plus 10 times the number of 10s equals 7,000. 5 times 1,200 is 6,000 minus 5t plus 10t equals 7,000. Now I want to solve for t, so I would subtract my 6,000 from both sides, and I can combine my 10s, and negative 5t plus 10t is 5t equals 7,000 minus 6,000 is 1,000. Divide by 5, and my number of 10s that I have is 200. If I have 200 10s, I can then plug 200 in my equation at the top, and that means I must have 1,000 5s. Well, let's verify we have the right number. If I have 1,000 5s, 1,000 5s are worth $5,000. 200 10s is worth $2,000 for a total of $7,000. So my numbers are correct. A quick check can make sure you have the correct numbers for each unknown. The second part of the lesson is on similar triangles. If you have two angles that are equal, then you can know by definition that the third angle is also equal. That is part of Euclid's postulates. So if you have two angles that are equal, you can know that the third angles are also equal. And that means that you have similar triangles, so you can use ratios to calculate the length of an unknown side. So in example 19.3, of course, you have to remember to use corresponding sides. These are vertical angles, so they are equal. And this is example 19.3 on page 95. We can solve for x and y. So we can say that these angles correspond. Okay? 4 corresponds to 6 on this side. 5 is in between the 1 tick mark angle and the 2 tick mark angle. So 5 corresponds to x, and y corresponds to 7. So we can calculate x by saying 4 on this side is to 6 on this side, as 5 on this side is to x, and we can cross multiply. And we have 4x is 30. Divide by 4, and x is 30 over 4, which can be reduced to 15 halves. Then we could solve for y in the same manner. I would go back to 4 is to 6 as, now we're going to use 7 is to y. Cross multiply, and we have 42 equals 4y. Divide by 4, and y equals 42 over 4, which can be reduced to 21 halves. This is lesson 19. If you have any questions, please email or text me. Thank you.